Hey guys, for this week's assignment, week number 12, we were responsible for discussing for the first installation of the blog post what the speaker talked about in class, Efrat Kaznik, and she's the founder and president of Foresight Valuation, and we were mostly responsible for going over exactly what she was saying in class. So I've outlined the slides that were given to us, and I posted them on my blog. I think these are going to be pretty helpful in terms of understanding exactly what we're talking about. The topic of discussion was the role of IP as a business asset, and she broke down her presentation by three different topics. The first was an IP marketplace overview. The second was IP strategy for growth, and the third was IP case studies. So if we look at the IP marketplace overview, the IP marketplace has changed dramatically since, over the course of the last 30, 40 years. Today, intangible assets comprise 80% of the S&P 500's market value, and intellectual property is playing an increasingly larger role in a variety of different industries. And then we discussed consumer products versus digital products, and how it's very easy to patent consumer products today as long as you're meeting those three criteria we discussed earlier. But when you look at Supreme Court decisions and how they viewed software and other digital products, you'll see that it's much harder to patent software, mostly because it's based off of algorithms that already exist. So there's nothing really proprietary about them. Then we talked about a comparison of IP rights, and we showed there's 4 different types of intellectual properties: copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets, patents. And you look at these, and patents are the most limited in terms of their lifetime. It's only 20 years from the filing date. But that's mostly what we've been talking about in this class: the right to exclude others from producing, using, or selling a product within a defined territory. And if you look at the mobile patent wars, it serves as a pretty good example of the increasing size of the IP marketplace. There's currently 250,000 patents that go into smartphones, and that number just continues to grow. And if you look at key acquisitions recently, such as Google acquiring Motorola Mobility for billions of dollars, you'll see just the value that intangible assets and intellectual property have had over the course of the last few decades. Now, there are 4 key external forces that are impacting the marketplace. IP litigation is at an all-time high, and this is largely due to the rise of non-practicing entities, which we've discussed in class extensively. The second is patent transaction markets are currently very active. The third is global competition is changing the IP playing field. And the fourth is that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office is both overloaded and underfunded. And this is largely due to the America Invest Act, which has moved patents from a first to invent to a first to file system, which we talked about in class as well. And then if you look at IP strategies for growth, you'll notice that there are 5 main types of IP transactions. You can use it internally, you can license it, you can sell it, you can joint venture or spin off, or you can enforce the patent. Now, the idea is to eventually grow a patent over the course of its life cycle into a strategic business asset. So the first phase is developing an IP position where you'll attract innovators, technology enthusiasts, and early adopters and visionaries. In the middle phase is where you're going to be making most of your money, where you're going to be commercializing and monetizing your patent portfolio. This will include early majority pragmatists and late majority conservatives. And then at the end, you're going to be liquidating that portfolio, essentially selling it off. This will include the laggards and the skeptics. And then the goals to consider when you're growing an IP portfolio to maximize valuation is you want freedom to operate, you want to block competitors, support future products, hedge against litigation, attract buyers and investors, you want to monetize, and you want liquidation value. A couple case studies that were mentioned over the course of the presentation include Xerox's failure to patent the GUI, the graphic user interface, which it actually invented, but was commercialized by Mac and PCs, which grossed over $500 million in sales, and those were or more than that, but which Xerox $500 million could have collected in terms of royalties if they had actually just patented that technology and licensed it. Another example from the other side of the spectrum was Kodak, which actually infringed on 7 out of 12 of Polaroid's patents instead of creating innovative new technologies, and this led to a loss of $3 billion in litigation. Thanks for your time, and stay tuned for my next post that has to do with relevant external research that I came across on my own. Thank you.